Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. Each stock within the Zacks Rank Buy universe is chosen based on how well it matches criteria comprising the four main investing styles: aggressive growth, growth in income, momentum, and value. Today, we talk about some momentum stocks with Mike Vodicka. Mike is our momentum stock analyst at Zacks.com, which makes it logical that we would be talking about momentum stocks, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And so we're going to start with Steinway Musical Instruments. Wow. Now, is this in the retail industry, or is this in the musical instrument industry?
They actually operate on the manufacturing side of the business, and you're right, it is a little bit less traditional for a momentum pick. But there are a couple of things I liked about the stock that I thought for me to talk about it today. It's more of a steady climber. It's been rallying since about late July, and it adds a reaction off of its strong quarterly report. But also, the current year estimate was just lifted by the analyst community. The next year estimate is projecting 19% earnings growth, and also it had attractive valuations too. Its forward PE multiple is about 13.7, and that's a discount to the market. So it had a couple of different things that were going for it.
So is this just part of the manufacturing group?
Categorically, yes, this would be considered a manufacturer, but kind of a specialty manufacturer.
Okay. Urban Outfitters, you wrote about on September the 11th, URBN, the ticker symbol. You say their share price has been rallying lately. Why is that?
Yeah, Urban Outfitters is kind of an interesting pick from the retail sector because what they've been able to do is they've been able to achieve some diversity in servicing different audiences. They have two different stores. One store would be Urban Outfitters, and they cater to a more mid-level college audience. And they also have a higher-end retailer that's called Anthropologie. So they're covering two different components of the market, and that's worked out well for them. And we've seen that play out in their earnings. The last quarter they reported, which is on August 14th, the revenue was up 30%, and their net income actually came close to doubling. It jumped up to $57 million from $31 million in the same period last year. And that's a pretty impressive growth number in this kind of environment. Also, too, for Urban Outfitters, their next year estimate was fairly bullish. Analysts are projecting a 20% earnings growth.
Anthropologie, what are they, wholesale Anthropologie outfits there? Or
actually,
what does that do?
Anthropologie is also a retailer, and it's a higher-end retailer. They service a more affluent customer base.
With clothing?
They do, clothing and accessories, too. Yep.
Interesting. Normally, the name of the company ties into what they retail somehow, but I guess not here. Steris Corporation is what you wrote about on the 10th of September, STE, the ticker symbol. Again, nice rally in share price.
Sure, yeah. I mean, most of these stocks that we cover in the momentum sequence, one of the primary components we look for would be an uptrending stock price. We're going to see that in most of these companies we're discussing. Steris comes from the healthcare sector. It's a little bit different than some of the stocks we've been talking about because they don't actually provide services. This is a manufacturer, and they manufacture medical devices for the pharmaceutical healthcare industry.
Okay.
The reason I want to talk about this company here is recently their stock price had been rallying, but they had a breakout from a short-term level of resistance here. And from a technical perspective, that is an indication, that's a bullish indication, and the stock looks well positioned for more growth.
All right, and then on the 9th of September, finally, you wrote about a more recognizable name, Northwest Bancorp, NWSB, the ticker symbol.
Correct. Northwest Bancorp is kind of a play off of what we've seen developing in the financial sector this week. The Fannie and Freddie bailout was a big story. Now, whether or not that is going to turn out to be a positive or a negative, we're not sure. But what we do know is that it definitely did introduce an element of stability into the market, and the market's always like that. In addition, Northwest Bancorp has done a great job of creating transparency with their balance sheets, and that's been one of the biggest problems with a lot of these companies is they don't really know how to price their assets against the market. And this company has been releasing information. Here's what's going on with our assets. They've been releasing information about their books. So it gives investors a better idea of exactly what's been happening with them.
All right, and this week that Mike talks about is the week of September the 8th, for those of you keeping track of the calendar. And do you or does anyone in your house own any of these stocks that you've talked about?
No, we do not.
All right. Earnings estimate revisions are the most powerful force impacting stock prices. You hear us say that all the time here. The Zacks rank takes advantage of changes in earnings estimates to help investors become more profitable. And each day on Zacks.com, Zacks rank buy stocks for the various investment strategies are spotlighted. These are no exception. You can read about them by linking to them right off of our homepage, Zacks.com. And you can also learn more about the Zacks rank buy concept by linking to, or going to, I should say, Zacks.com/rank. With Mike, I'm Terry Ruffalo.